Can you just state your name, where you're from?
My name is Marcie Mcintire, and I am a resident of Grand Portage, Minnesota.
Okay. So what is your biggest concern about policy that's going to directly affect you? Kind of living in Grand Portage, and then, well, so yeah, what's your biggest issue I guess you're concerned about?
Well, I'm concerned that when people talk about the economy, whether it's the media or politicians or other types of leaders in this country, they're really scaring people, and it really frightens people. And I'm an independent artist, and my livelihood depends on sales, and these sales are basically from the tourist economy, and our tourism season basically lasts from the end of April, when the snowbirds start coming back, till December. We have a busy fall leaf season, and then there's a Christmas season with a lot of Christmas shows, and then by Christmas Eve it's basically all over, and we have to have enough money to see us through the winter. And a lot of businesses in this area, there's art galleries and hotels and restaurants, depend on the 3 months during the summer when the tourism is at its peak. And in fact, some of the gift shops and galleries and other businesses, they close down at the end of October, and then others close down at the end of December. Well, that gives people a lot of free time to maybe go to Florida if they can afford it. Like the gas prices, everything in the North Shore of Lake Superior depends on the price of oil. Our food costs have gone up. It's more expensive for tourists to travel to this area. And so when there's all this economic news, recently I heard that Lehman Brothers, the collapse of Lehman Brothers, which sort of instigated the 2008 stock market crash, that Lehman Brothers had actually been fudging their figures, and now the state of New York is looking at their accounting firm for doing illegal things. And it's sort of like these corporations were at the mercy of these corporations, and many of these people are doing things illegal, and it's hurting all of us, precipitating economic downfall, because everybody is greedy, and, well, not everybody, but many people who are with these corporations, they're greedy, and they're crooked. And so it's like all this doesn't really need to happen at all. So that's some of my concerns.
So do you see Congressman Cravaack like adding to how do you see him adding to the problem as opposed to helping the problem?
Well, I think he wants mining in the Northeast region, and I think he's in cahoots with big business, these mining companies, and I don't think he really cares about what happens to us. And he lives in North Branch, which is a long way away from us. And one day, this man came into my art gallery, and he was from Hibbing, and he was talking about how the mining companies came in there, took everything out, they did open pit mining, they left huge scars on the earth, and then they left, and there's nothing for the people who are living there. There's no playgrounds. At one time, for a few years in the 1960s, the mining companies gave money to the public schools, but that only lasted for so long, so they did have a good educational system when the mining companies were able to provide money. But when they left, that money dried up, and the places where mining occurs, it's ugly, it's scars on the earth, and there's no jobs for the people, no hope, and the kids hang around downtown and they get into drugs. and it's just terrible. That was an eyewitness account from a gentleman I met from Hibbing. So that's what mining does to the people. I mean, sure, we all use these resources, and they need resources for everything we use in our homes. Unless you walk here, even if you come on a bicycle, you're benefiting from mining. But there should be more environmentally friendly ways of doing it.
Has he held any open discussions with the people that will be affected by the mining, do you know of? Or is he open to discussion? In the town hall, he made the impression that, he's open to talking to people and it's a continuing conversation. Have you experienced that?
I haven't followed that because many of these discussions have been in Duluth, and that's a 3-hour drive for us. And then I can't really get away from my gallery. I'm too busy making money, and like he said that one meeting with MPCA and EPA, that it was a closed meeting. It wasn't open to citizenry. Well, how are we supposed to have an impact if it's a closed meeting?
Yeah.
And even if they are open meetings, it's getting more and more expensive for us to travel. So usually when I take my trips, I combine them with shopping or meetings that I have to go, or doctor's appointments. And that's the way I do it. I just, these days, because of the high cost of fuel and cars, I'm making car payments. It's just impossible to really get involved. That takes money, time and money.
Yeah.
So.
Do you know of any groups in the local area that are making the trips to Duluth, or do you know of a movement at all that's of people living in the area that are kind of trying to fight against it?
Not in the local area. I think those groups are more down in the Duluth area.
Okay.
I know the Green Party was looking at this a couple of years ago at least, and then there's people at Grand Portage and other parts of the county who are concerned about it, as we could see from the meeting we had. But I think it's a done deal. By the time any kind of federal project gets to the level of the public comment period, it's basically a done deal. That's the way I've seen with the snowmobile trails and other federal initiatives in the area. They don't, yes, they might take the comments, but they don't really listen to us. Yes.
Okay.
So.